Color plays an important role in how a movie makes us feel. Color works on an emotional level, and there are many ways for filmmakers to take advantage of its power. The way we manipulate color in the contemporary era is an aesthetic choice. Shooting in color versus shooting in black and white is no longer an economic question focused on the cost of film and processing. In the digital era, we can choose based on the narrative instead of based on the cost. Filmmakers know that color will have a significant impact on how the viewer experiences the film. In previous lessons, you've learned that color is a strong consideration during the pre-production phase of filmmaking. During the production design, the mise-en-scène of a film is decided upon. Color exists and is used strategically in the setting, costumes, wardrobe, and makeup. With wardrobe, it can be used to signal allegiance. With makeup, it can be used to signal desire with the use of the perfect red lipstick. In pre-production, color is concentrated within objects. Post-production color is a little different. Changes in the overall look of a film through manipulating color is called color grading. Color grading is performed by a colorist. While filmmakers now have the option to shoot movies in full color, some do in fact opt to produce their films in black and white. For some filmmakers, the goal of producing a film this way may allude to or pay homage to classic era cinema, film from earlier eras. The 1986 production of Under the Cherry Moon, written and directed by the late musical artist Prince, was just such a production. The film chronicles the doomed romance of a man and woman who fall in love under nefarious pretenses. When news gets out that a young woman will be the recipient of a huge trust on her 21st birthday, our hero, Christopher Tracy, decides to seduce and win her heart in an effort to gain control of her fortune. Of course, after much comedy and music, he falls in love actually. Unfortunately, their story ends in tragedy, but the movie is a cult classic nevertheless. The film's visual style makes use of the high contrast dynamic of black and white, while the mise-en-scène makes it clear that black and white was chosen as a way of making reference to classic Hollywood glamour and style. A filmmaker may also choose black and white because they want to establish a monochromatic visual style. Another interesting use of black and white is to simulate a life devoid of passion or excitement. This was used to good effect in the 2014 film adaptation of The Giver. The film begins in black and white, or more specifically, we could say the film starts out desaturated. This serves the narrative and suggests the utopian conformity of their idyllic society is missing something very important. As the film continues and the protagonist begins to understand and experience emotions, the cinematic world gains more color, one scene at a time, until the movie has migrated from desaturated to fully saturated with color. This color transition in the film all happens during the post-production edit. It is important to recognize how observable uses of color affect film content, how shading, intensification, or saturation, as well as color contrast, affect the style and meaning of a film. Post-production color edit can be used to turn a daylight shot into night. Post-production color can also change the tone of the narrative. The way color is used or manipulated in post should be subtle and not overpowering. In fact, the color grading of a film should be consistent throughout so that it is invisible to the viewer and does not draw attention to itself. Unless, of course, you want the changes in color to support the narrative as they do in The Giver. Color grading is an important step in the post-production editing of a film. Color can support the narrative, but color can also tell its own story. Shifts in color impact the emotional experience of the viewer. Shifts in color can also give us clues and tell us a secondary or tertiary story, which complements the main story on screen.